Well, the Yankees didn't need to hear about Garrett Cole having to have an MRI. The same day, Aaron Judge had an MRI on his abdominal muscle. That came back clean. That's according to Judge. And they're going to shut him down until the end of the week. Judge says that he still has plenty of time to be able to play on March 28th, opening day in Houston against the Astros. So, from what I'm hearing, they don't seem as concerned about Judge as they are about Cole. So, the Judge situation is concerning to me that he would be banged up despite not playing that much in spring training. That's a little concerning.
But do you think this is going to be just something that's going to be for the rest of the time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's never had this. I mean, where's this injury coming from?
I don't know, but if you're fatigued now, that is going to be like, when they've got 10 consecutive games without an off day, or 12 or whatever, he's not playing all 12. That there's going to be moments during the course of a season where they're just going to shut him down. Something's bothering him. He's fatigued. And I would not be surprised that throughout his career you'll see him play less and less and less. He's not going to play 162. Nobody does anymore. But is it going to be 150? And then maybe it'll be 140 and 135, where there'll be moments as he gets older that they are really going to be cautious not to push any ailment, anything going on with him, because let's face it, he's almost a partner, Michael. He's involved in decision. You've invested a decade in this guy. They want to make sure he's as healthy as possible for as long as possible in this contract.
Well, obviously, I think it's going to be a case if he's feeling good, they'll play him, and they're going to be very careful like they are with this. Now, in terms of Cole, and I said this at the start of the show, and I'll repeat it, just the sense I'm getting, it's not great. Not great, Bob. I don't know how bad it is, but it's not good. That's the best way I could put it. So we know that he's not going to be ready. This is what they said publicly, not going to be ready to start opening day. Okay, you get over that. Whatever. If it's 1 or 2 starts, you're thrilled. As I said earlier, if he misses a month, just a month, if they say, okay, he's going to miss a month, I think they would literally throw a party in the Yankee front offices. You just cross your fingers for many reasons. I am not one of these guys, even when I was a young fan, I never rooted for players on teams that weren't the Yankees to get injured. And if you're a baseball fan, there's something exhilarating about watching someone at the level of talent as Garrett Cole pitch. And for him not to be able to pitch, it's really a crushing blow to a baseball fan. But let's take the emotions out of it. If he's hurt for a significant amount of time, it is an absolute body blow to the New York Yankees, because there's no replacement. There's no replacement to Garrett Cole. You can't go out, people talking about, well, the Yankees have re-engaged with the White Sox on Dylan Cease. Hey, it'd be nice to get Dylan Cease. 2 years ago, he finished second in the Cy Young Award. Look at his numbers this year. There's a 1.5 whip. He has 77 walks. He has a hard time throwing strikes. I know he throws 98, 99 miles an hour, and it would be a nice addition. But I'm not giving up Spencer Jones for him, because you're not replacing Garrett Cole. You might have a Dylan Cease somewhere in your system. Maybe Clayton Beeter becomes that guy. But last year he had 79 walks in 177 innings. Now, yeah, he struck out 214, but he had a 4.58 ERA, 7-9. And with the information that's out there right now, White Sox aren't giving the Yankees any breaks. The White Sox, when the Yankees spoke about Dylan Cease with them earlier, when there was no thought that Garrett Cole was injured, they asked for Spencer Jones. So are you going to do it now? No. So it would be, I'm not going to say it's a death blow, but it is a body blow to the New York Yankees if they lose Garrett Cole for any significant amount of time, because you can't replace that guy.
All right, let's try to think about how you think of replacing him. Like I said, you're not going to go out and get Garrett Cole. Can't happen. Those players are not available. There's only a handful of them, and they're not being made available. The question is, can you find someone who's better, potentially, than Rodon in his best season? If not, then that means Rodon is your ace. And now you're trying to find somebody to be your second starter, third starter. Can they find somebody to be their new ace? Or is it automatically going to be at least to start Rodon?
I guess it's a great question, Don. I guess if they got Cease or if they sign Snell, I would see that person sliding in to be the number one because, right now you're hoping that Rodon gets back to what he was in the year with the Giants and the year before that with the White Sox. But if he does get back to that, you know what? He is an ace. He's not an ace on the level of Garrett Cole because that's a generational player, Garrett Cole. And the thing that makes him special is that he doesn't get hurt, and here he is hurt. But I just have not a great feeling about this because I'm just trying to piece together with 38 years of knowledge in this game. Both Judge and Cole went for an MRI. Same day. We know what Cole's MRI said. It's not like they haven't seen Garrett Cole's MRI. They've seen it. Now, what they're doing is they're looking for options. They're talking to the best doctors in the world that deal with these sort of things to see exactly what they could do, if they have to have surgery, if it's something that rest would heal, stuff like that. I just don't like the feeling of it. I don't think it's a positive in any way, shape, or form.
And what you don't want, and this kind of happened with DeGrom, where you don't know what it is. And he comes back and he pitches, and this rears its ugly head again in May or June. And now he's on the shelf again, and you're trying to figure it out. And then, God forbid, it's, he needs Tommy John surgery. So instead of being back next year in April, now he's coming back next year in July. So you know what I'm saying, Michael, is that you want to find out what it is, take care of it, and move on. And not have it linger and wonder at what it is, and then you end up getting him back a lot longer than you had thought. So if it is the worst-case scenario, find it out now.
Well,
get it taken care of.
The thing that scares me, and we don't know if it's Tommy John, but, you do an MRI on the elbow, your mind extrapolates to, some kind of ligament issue or a flexor tendon. And you have Tommy John surgery as a starter, you probably, if he had it today, you're probably not coming back till August. Now, if what Don said, they go, well, let's try to see, like Tanaka tried to pitch through it. You know what? He pitched through it his entire career, and it never blew. Yeah. Partially torn UCL. So if you do that and you take a chance, and all of a sudden, you decide in July you can't do it, then he misses all of next year. So, and then there's, again, maybe we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. At the end of the season, he has an opt-out in his contract. Now, you might say it would be crazy to opt out when you're coming back from a serious injury, or would it be? Because people might think, okay, one of the great pitchers of all time is now through Tommy John or whatever surgery he would have. I'm going to actually give him a new contract. So if he does opt out, the Yankees could take the opt-out away by just giving him a 10th year at $36 million. I mean, there's so many layers to this, but the only one that I want to concentrate on this year, how does it affect what the Yankees are doing this year? They went out and got Juan Soto to try to win this year, and now have you counteracted the advantage of having a great player like Soto, losing a great player like Cole?
Every year is so big for the Yankees, but it can't be any bigger than this year. You have a rental in one of the best players in baseball. And you can live with losing him in free agency if you win a championship. But, missing the playoffs and losing him, Michael, would be an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
You can't have that happen.
And then,
and that would be on the table. If you don't replace Cole, Michael, that obviously would be on the table, right?
It would be on the table. I believe that if you lose Cole, no matter how you replace him, I'm not sure you could catch the Orioles. I think you could I think you can battle for a wild card. I'm not sure you could make up 19 games to catch the Orioles. It would be a fierce thing to try to do. Now, I know next man up, and we named them earlier. Well, Will Warren has pitched well. Poteet has pitched well. Beater has impressed. Luis Heel has impressed. Those are all possibilities to move up to the 5th spot. But then all of a sudden, Clark Schmidt's your 4.
Well, see.
And then Marcus Stroman probably moves up. And then Cortez moves up. And Rodon, I mean, it just has a trickle effect. Well, so this in the words of Joe Girardi, it's not what you want.
I'm glad you said that, Michael, because it's kind of like what happened to the Mets and Diaz. You can look at losing Diaz and say, okay, what is the closer that replaces Diaz going to do? but then the guy has to now replace the guy that replaced him, replaced him. So, all right, what's the Yankees' record? The 33 games that maybe the replacement is going to get in the 23-10 the Yankees were when Cole started. All right, now what's Rodon going to do? What is Cortez going to do? If everybody's got to slot up, Michael, then that means all their starts are affected for what they were projected to win in that span. So if it's 3 less for the 33 that Cole would have started, it could be 3 less for Rodon, and now all of a sudden you're 10 games worse than you were supposed to be. What would their PECOTA be today, Michael?
Without Cole?
If they knew Cole wasn't going to pitch.
Well, their PECOTA with everybody intact was 94, so you got to take his WAR away, which would be about 5. And
all right, so now you're 89. Now you're a wild card.
But then who are you replacing him with? Do you replace him with somebody who's a 2 WAR? So then it would be 3. You know, it'd be 91. It's going to have an effect. You can't put lipstick on a pig on this.
Listen, 94 doesn't guarantee you anything. Now listen, it's PECOTA. It doesn't matter, but it's a number. So was 94 going to be enough to win the division? It wasn't last year.
They had 94 as the second best record in the American League behind the Astros. So they have the Orioles taking a step back.
That's a huge step back,
yeah,
right?
And the Orioles, in fairness, they've lost some people too. And they lost their closer, and they bring in Craig Kimbrell, who's not nearly the closer that Bautista was. So, there are some things but their lineup is stout and young. And, Jackson Holliday could be their starting second baseman, and he's an amazing prospect. So, it's a bad day if we hear really bad news on Garrett Cole. Let's go to Anthony in Jersey City. Anthony.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. So I'm a huge Yankee fan, and I feel like Chicken Little right now, like the sky is falling with the news from Cole and Judge coming on the same day yesterday. But I think the thing that is bothering me the most, and it's kind of what you guys were just saying also, where the Yankees, they're always very secretive. They don't tell the fans what's actually going on. They lie. I think Boone said that Judge was scheduled to leave the game when he did, and he'd be back in the lineup by Wednesday, and then all of a sudden he's not back until opening day. So I just hate all of the smoke and mirrors that the Yankees put the fan base through when it comes to these injuries.
Now, I hear what you're saying, Anthony, and that's certainly a narrative right now, but I got to tell you, you're a Yankee fan, and the people that are annoyed with this are a Yankee fan. Are they less than forthright? Yeah, but tell me a team that's not. Because they're your team that you're rooting for. You get frustrated that they don't come out and tell you, oh, yeah, we're sticking Judge in an MRI tube. This stuff is kept close to the vest, A, because you don't want to put yourself behind the 8 ball in terms of leverage if you have to replace somebody, and B, there are HIPAA laws where the players don't allow you to say exactly what's wrong. So don't just say that the Yankees obfuscate when it comes to injuries. Everybody does. Nobody just comes out and says, oh, yeah, this guy's in a lot of trouble. They say what they can say. They say what they want to say. So you can get as upset as you want, and I get it, I understand it, but tell me the team that comes out and shows you the x-ray, go, hey, look at this, look, the ligament's torn. It's not done in any sport. In hockey, they give you this nonsense. It's a lower body injury. They don't even tell you what part of the body.
No, but in defense of the caller, it's one thing to say, we don't know what it is, we don't think it's that serious. To say he's fine and then he's not fine. But I don't know what Boone's being told. Is Boone being disingenuous? Are they being disingenuous to Boone? I don't know where.
But Don,
the line all starts.
I have been told by managers, okay, the player doesn't want me to say anything. I've been told you better not say anything. And the player holds the power here because of HIPAA laws. They can't say anything if the player tells them not to say anything. So you're putting the manager in a position to have to lie. So I'm not saying that the Yankees are the best at this where they're so transparent, but again, tell me the team that is. I just told you about a sport that doesn't tell you even what's wrong, Don.
No, I get it, but they'll tell you whether he's out or not. Like, they're not going to tell you, oh, we expect him to play tomorrow, and then the next day we find out he's out 6 weeks. They might lie and not tell you it's upper body, lower body. They may not give you the information, but they usually will tell you the length of time somebody's going to be out. Like, listen, I'm not going to get mad at Aaron Boone. Like, it's done, but it is a bit disingenuous. Everything's fine, and now he's in an MRI tube.
Right. Especially when, it's not a great look. Again, we don't know why these things are said this way. When you say, well, it was scheduled for him to be off. Well, obviously it really wasn't. Adam Schefter reporting former Patriot safety Jalen Mills has reached an agreement on a one-year deal with the Giants. A former Eagle now plays for the Giants.
Well, now we got a revenge. We got theirs.
It all feels equal now. I am curious. We haven't talked to a lot of Giants fans today. I am curious if for the people who are just bummed out about seeing number 26 in green next year, whether the end of the day yesterday made them feel better. I mean, you can really make a case, guys, that the additions they made on both sides of the ball were really pretty baller, impactful moves.
Overall, you take your heart out of it, Peter. They had a good day yesterday.
No, I mean, you could argue that they had one of the better days in the league.
And you know what? They had a good day, Peter, because the money that they would have had to pay to keep Saquon and to keep McKinney, they used that to get other parts that they need. And they feel that they can replace somebody in the secondary, and they've already replaced Barkley. Now, is Singletary as good as Barkley? But the money they didn't have to spend shored up other parts where they value that more than they do the positions they lost at.
Exactly. And let's say Saquon has a great Saquon year next year, which for Saquon's what, Don? 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, right? One of those kind of Saquon years. If Devin Singletary gives you 950 yards and 6 touchdowns, is that worth the trade-off in the amount of money that you were able to spend other places in big-time positions like a huge pass rusher? Now, you're going to have the whole sports world tell you. You'll be listening to hacks all day who tell you they remember every single play Brian Burns has played. I slept on the guy in Carolina, I'm going to be honest. But, Don, when you see on paper what he's capable of, that is a pretty exciting pickup.
Yeah, very much so. And he's only 25.
Our buddy John Heyman reporting that the Mets have engaged with J.D. Martinez. So Don's been saying this for a while. Maybe they wait, and all of a sudden the price goes to a point, the Mets go, okay, we'll take him instead of Mark Vientos.
And he's not a pitcher. You can sign him,
1 year.
Opening day, and he can get involved.
Hey, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfectly